Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram.
Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram.
Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar,
Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram.
Rama 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 Rama
Rama Rama Rama Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram.
Rama 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 Rama
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram.
Rama 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 Rama
Rama Rama Rama Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guraya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar.
Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram.
Rama
Rama Rama Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama Rama Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumar Arpanamastu. Once again, we shall offer millions of our grateful pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan with the submission of his Nama lotuses at his lotus feet. As he said, the evening twilight time is very important for worship of God. The Sandhya time, when the day meets the night, is a time of worship. It's meant only for worship. No matter how busy you are, how sick you are, if you could still remember at least the name of God for some time, for a few minutes at this time, it would bear enormous fruit. On the contrary, if we should indulge in eating and sleeping and merrymaking, as I've been saying, our asuric qualities would multiply. These are the time the Rakshasas, the demons, with all their wicked characteristics, it is the time for them to indulge in eating and sleeping and merrymaking. So it's up to us to decide which one we adopt. We have been seeing glimpses of Bhagwan's life, the glory of Bhagwan's Nama, the experiences of devotees, and some explanations for his teachings, which are somewhat irreconcilable to many of us today. the way the world is. Now, as he said, for nearly 1.5 years, every day, with the exception of 1 month in between, we've been going through story after story. It has come to quite a number, like 450. Now the time has come to give it a rest for some time. Now normalcy is returning slowly. The ashram will be open for 4 days, a week. And of course this could change any moment, depending upon the instructions from the government. If they relax the restrictions further, then it may work all through the week. In which case it's time for you people to visit the ashram and worship here Bhagwan in his powerful shrine. So we shall conclude our satsang tomorrow. Now I shall continue with today's satsang. With the 2 demonstrations played by Bhagwan in order to make a very serious point. Bhagwan was always a man of few words. He never gave lectures. Very casually he would speak. One had to be very alert to pick up and make out what he really meant by it. Let us recall 2 demonstrations, 2 Leelas of his, and how he made a very poignant point. We have been going through some of his teachings. In one of them he says, whatever happens, happens by the will of God, and whatever happens is a blessing, is perfect. The Leela is perfect because God is perfect. You cannot expect God to make a mistake. So whatever he chooses to do can only be correct and a blessing. This is how Bhagwan put it. God's Leela is perfect because God is perfect. Now let's go through the 2 incidents that I mentioned. I've already spoken in one of the previous satsangs. But these things are not just for merely listening and forgetting. They have to be gone through again and again. We have to think again and again and assimilate it. It should become one with our blood. And finally, our spirit. Now, everybody, many devotees of Bhagwan know about Dr. Shankara Rajulu, who was working as the principal of the Government Arts College in Tiruvannamalai, very near the ashram. At one point, Shri Shankara Rajulu was the principal, and he was stationed in Tiruvannamalai. He would visit Bhagwan oftentimes, more so when he had problems with the students. He has written beautiful songs on Bhagwan, which we sing in our morning sessions. In the earlier days, after his transfer from Tiruvannamalai to Madurai, so in the incident of Dr. Shankara Rajulu, we saw how Bhagwan indicated the one who stopped the car was also the one who started it, or the one who started the car was the one who stopped it. And then again, we saw another point that he made. Today, we shall see how a devotee, very devoted to Bhagwan, who was doing a lot of Kainkarya, lot of service in a temple, and who has given up everything that we would generally consider as security. We consider our relatives as security, our friends another security, money is one security, power is another security. So all these that we consider a security in life, she had given up and come to the service of God in a temple. At one point she got frightened thinking about her future. She came to Bhagwan and asked Bhagwan, I'm very scared to think of my future. It did not matter to me up till now that I gave up everything and everyone. But suddenly this fear comes from the depth to the fore. I'm helpless before it. No idea why it would come to me at all, and how, and where from. But the fear is there, that I am alone, with none of the securities one normally considers. I have come to depend only upon God, and yet this fear is nagging me. At the time, there was a book, a magazine called Kalyana Kalpataru. It's Gorakhpur publication, which was lying nearby. Bhagwan said, you take that magazine in hand and open, and let me know what you come across, what you open upon. When she opened, it was the picture of Sita Devi sitting under Simshubha tree. In the garden of delight of Ravana, the Asura, the Rakshas. Everybody knows Ramayana. So it was those lonely, and tortured time for Sita Devi, and all the time she was surrounded by these Rakshasis, the demons, the female demons around with terrible looking weapons. They would threaten her with the weapons and also speak harsh words. If she would not listen to Ravana, their emperor, then they would kill her and have her for breakfast. Just imagine, with nothing else to do, just sitting there for so many days, for so many months, listening to the harsh words of these Rakshasis, the demons around, such violent, threatening words, day after day after day. Imagine what Sita would have gone through. The picture had Sita Devi sitting under this tree. Her eyes were closed. There was a drop of tear trickling down, and her lips were murmuring, Ram, Ram, Ram. And in front of her, Lord Devendra, the king among the Devas, the king of the Devas, standing there with a prayer, an unspoken prayer in his eyes, begging Sita Ma to accept the pot of Amrita, the nectar. Which meant freedom from all these tortures, and eternal youth and Ananda. But Sita had turned her face away from Devendra, and with closed eyes, with a drop of tear, all that she was doing was Ram, 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 chanting the name. Bhagwan looked at it and said, that is it. Now this is something I think is meant for all. If you consider Sita, the human soul, we know that we are surrounded by those ferocious, sometimes negative forces which are ready to pounce upon us any time, especially at our weak moments. And right at the front is the temptations, the pot of temptations, promising all the pleasures of the world. Freedom from diseases, freedom from aging. It's an amaratva of a different kind. The jnanis also attain amaratva, but that is different. The amaratva of the devas is different. So you see, on the one hand, here is the king of the devas, no one less than the king of the devas, offering with a deep prayer the pot of nectar On the other side, all these great evil people with their terrible looking weapons and harsh, violent words. This is how the human life is surrounded. Now you have to fight both. We must free ourselves from the weakness to yield to the evil forces, nor should we yield to the temptations of life. So what should we do? There is only one way out to escape from both. From the violent tortures of the world, the negative forces, and the temptation of pleasures. Rama Nama chanting. The chanting of the divine name is the only way out. And this is what was Bhagwan pointing out. Just a very small Leela. A lady comes with fear of future, and Bhagwan simply asks her to see the magazine next to her, and she opens. And this is the picture, and then Bhagwan says, that is it. Be indifferent to the pleasures of the world, the temptations of the world. Be indifferent to those forces of torture. How? Keep chanting Ram now. Chant the name of God. Remember the name of God. Close your eyes to both. Let your lips chant the name of God. Then you develop immunity to both, to the demonic forces and to all the temptations of the world. For example, if someone had gone through some very bad experience and they want to forget, they seek the drinks. How many people take to drinking just to forget the tortures of the mind? Now, if one has to be indifferent both to the temptations as well as the torture of the negative forces, the only way out is the name of God, the remembrance of God. That would fill us up with the sweetness of God. It would give us the inner light. Like Bhagwan said, light the lamp of the Nama on your tongue. All the darkness of inside and outside will vanish. It will be chased away by the light, by the Mani Deep, the light of the Nama on your tongue. So this is what we all have to remember. The one sure way to keep ourselves balanced against all the negative forces and temptations of the world. Remembrance of God, remembrance of God's name. Let's remember what Bhagwan said repeatedly. And we have to remember repeatedly. Manana, bring to our mind again and again. What? God is the only goal of life. Remembering the name is remembering God. Remembering God is living in God. It's only when you remember God you truly live. Other times you are dead, as bad as dead. Now we shall offer our today's prayer at the feet of Bhagwan. Just as Sita Devi, her incessant chanting of Ram Nam brought Hanuman to give her reassurance that Rama was on his way to her, to rescue her. Generally, they interpreted as, that is, Hanuman as Guru, that God sends the Guru to give us assurance, hope, and intensify our sadhana. And then the Pattabhishekam, the rescue by the Lord. And then the coronation. This is surely the end for every one of us too. Those who choose to remember God against all temptations of the world, against all negative forces, we will surely come across the rescuer. We all already have Bhagwan. He has given us the name Yogi Ramsuratkumar, the Kalpataru, Kamadhenu, the wish-fulfilling tree, the wish-fulfilling cow. All we have to do is to keep chanting his name, and surely Rama would come and rescue us from all temptations of the world and give us the coronation, make us the king of his kingdom. We will finally find out, we'll have the vision, the divine vision of that endless ananda and peace, and we would know that he, Rama, and we are one. There is no separation at all. So we shall offer our today's prayer at the feet of Bhagwan. Bhagwan, we seek your immediate intervention to free the entire humanity, because there is still anxiety on the one side, doubt, anxiety. But there is the appearance of normalcy also. So let's pray to Bhagwan to free the entire humanity from the clutches of this dreadful virus and bring back normalcy without any doubt, without any anxiety in all aspects of life. We shall pray to Bhagwan again and again to wipe out all those negativities from the hearts of people. To give us humility, sincerity, instead of panic, grief, self-pride, desire after one after the other, anger. We remember the scene when Krishna was lying down pretending to be asleep. He was approached by both Arjuna and Duryodhana for help for the impending war. Mahabharata war was to take place, and both had approached Lord Krishna for help. Arjuna, the devotee, he stood with folded hands at the feet of Krishna, waiting for him to open his eyes. Duryodhana, the embodiment of all that is evil, self-pride, jealousy, anger. He was there right at the head side of Lord Krishna. And when Krishna opened his eyes, he saw only Arjuna because he was there right opposite, standing right at his feet. Krishna gave two choices. I would be with one side without taking any weapons. I would not fight. I could be a charioteer. On the other hand, the valorous army, very strong and vast army of mine, will be with the other side. Now the choice is yours. Arjuna, you can answer me first because you are the youngest of the two. Now Duryodhana was all fear inside. He was panicking. What if Arjuna should choose the strong and vast army of Krishna? He was aiming for that. He did not realize the divinity of Krishna, so his mind was after only the army. Whereas the devotee, Arjuna, thought, if Krishna is with me, what more can I ask for? He said, Krishna, it doesn't matter how you come to me. All I want is you on my side. Krishna smiled and said, so be it. Now Duryodhana was very, very happy, little realizing that he was the loser. So many of us in life are like that. We want only things of our choice, thinking that they would give us all that we need, forgetting that God, without taking any weapons, just being with us, is the greatest fortune of our life. So we have to beg Bhagwan to wipe out all these negativities, all this ignorance of the truth. That is the reason behind it. We beg you, Bhagwan, to arrest the rapid spread of the diseases, enter all those medicines so that the crowd of viruses would be gone once for all. And we beg you, Bhagwan, to give protection and all-round welfare to all those warriors, the great warriors who are fighting the disease at the very risk of their lives. We also beg you for a lift to our economy. And as you said earlier, we beg you again and again and again for constant remembrance of your name. Let your name be with us, like Krishna promised to be with Arjuna. The name we cannot see, we cannot even realize its power, but if we keep chanting the name incessantly like Sita did, Pattabhishekam, coronation, is assured, the place in the kingdom of God, and the realization that he and I are one. We beg you, Bhagwan, to be willing and good instruments in your hands to run our everyday life as an offering to you. And eventually, we ask for that supreme blessing for our complete purification so that we could see only you, your presence everywhere, your blessings in all happenings of life, and your Leelas all over the world, in all forms. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.